Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Pink Cloud Frequency podcast. I am your host, Brianna Wynn. Thank you for joining me. Today, we are going to discuss how your alcohol-free lifestyle is an expansion, not a restriction. And I know that can be hard to conceptualize initially, especially when sobriety is framed as a list of things you can't do anymore. But quitting alcohol doesn't shrink your life, okay? Quitting alcohol actually expands your life. Becoming alcohol free, it doesn't take away your options. What it does is give you access to all of your options, all right? So let's start out by looking at, the old belief system or this illusion of restriction. And some of those beliefs sound like, I won't be able to relax. I won't be able to have fun. I'll miss out. I'll lose friends, right? I would say those are some of the most common ones. But the real truth is when you quit alcohol, we can and we do relax, right? And that relaxation now is more rewarding and it's actually better for our bodies because our nervous systems are now regulated. Our emotions are actually balanced, right? They're not suppressed anymore. In the quiet that we experience when we relax, it's safety for our bodies. We're not sedating anymore because that's what alcohol is. We can and we do have fun. We do the activities that we actually enjoy. We go back to the experiences we always wanted to try, but never took the chance because alcohol is always in the way, right? Anytime we wanted to do something quote unquote fun, it always revolved around alcohol. So now in our alcohol free life, we have the clarity and the energy to choose what actually excites us. You don't rely on quick dopamine hits from alcohol that peak fast and then fade out super quickly, right? Now you can create joy and you laugh and it feels better and feels more personal and you actually remember it. The fun you have when you're not drinking, it doesn't rob you of your next morning. You can go out and you can have the funnest night and you can go dance or you can go to eat or maybe you go to a fun class or, a paint night, something like that. But guess what? You still have your morning, right? So this kind of fun is real fun. It's true fun. It's actual joy. And likewise, we don't miss out on anything. We're not missing out on connections because now we're actually present in our experiences and we can engage and connect in a way that's authentic. Because when alcohol is involved, it doesn't, usually we can't be our true selves. But now our connections, they're real, right? They don't feel fake and they don't feel forced. It's like, they bring us genuine comfort. We're not around people just to be around them. And we don't lose our real friends. And I know I've talked before about friendships and stuff, and they may look a little different. They do. But our real friends that we've had our whole lives, or if those friendships are real, then we're not going to lose that friendship over quitting alcohol. And if we do, it wasn't a true friendship to begin with. So we may see them less, we may hang out with them less, especially if they're drinkers, but we don't lose them. What we do lose are those superficial relationships and the relationships that we only maintain to drink, right? Our coworker group of friends or our mom group of friends or certain groups, and not all mom groups or not all coworker groups, but the groups of people we would see with the sole purpose of going out and grabbing a drink, that's what we lose. And quite frankly, we don't need those. So there's nothing wrong with that. It gives us space to create more of what's meant for us and let go of what isn't. And that may include people, places, things, whatever it is. But now we have the space to create those things. So the reality is, alcohol narrows our choices, right? It's like we end up choosing certain people, not because we enjoyed them, but just because we enjoy drinking with them. We enjoy what we're enjoying is the actual drink, not necessarily the company. And oftentimes we say yes, even when we want to say no. We usually use alcohol as the same coping strategy over and over again. You're mad, you grab a drink. You're sad, you pick up a drink. You're worried, you pick up a drink. You're celebrating, you pick up a drink. Where is the freedom in that? Where is the freedom in that? When you start to realize and really truly understand that alcohol is the same choice every single time, it becomes so much easier to realize how free you are without it. And that was huge for me when I realized how tired I was of living in that same choice. When I did have, certain feelings, whether positive or negative, thinking alcohol was the only option, or days or nights ruminating on whether I should or shouldn't drink. I mean, that was the big choice of the day. Should I have a beverage? Should I pour a glass of wine? Should I not? Should I wait until tomorrow or the weekend or this or that? It's like, and then if I did make the choice to drink, it's the same playbook, the same people, the same to-dos, the same hangover, the same mental fog, the same anxiety. And it just got so old. I knew exactly what to expect before I drank, while I was drinking, after I was drinking. And it was just the first two drinks, I would say, or maybe even the first two shots, because I was a tequila drinker. I drank tequila, I drank wine. Occasionally I'll switch that up if I went out, maybe an espresso martini or a vodka or gin and tonic, something like that. But for the most part at home, I was a wine drinker and a tequila drinker. So those first couple shots that felt so good and warmed up my body, like those did feel good for what I needed good to be in those moments. And that's what kept me in that loop. But after that, it just usually went downhill or sideways from there, right? That little feeling you first get, you keep kind of chasing that throughout the night and you don't achieve it again. It doesn't come back. It doesn't return. So when we realize we're just chasing this sort of like this false reality, or that one little feeling that you can't repeat, we just realize it's just such a waste of time. So when we choose to remove alcohol from our lives, that actually expands us. It doesn't shrink us. It doesn't limit us. It actually expands us. It expands our emotional responses. It's like we get to choose now. We're not just simply reacting to whatever's going on around us or who's saying what around us. We're choosing. We have the clarity to pause, to process, to be rational, right? Our emotions actually reflect our true feelings. We're not just emotional because we drank or, we had too many shots or whatever the case is, and we're upset, reminiscing on some trivial event that happened who knows how long ago. We're not stuck in a place trying to relive something that we never processed to begin with. Like, we're in tune with our own self and with our own emotions. And sobriety expands your social engagements, right? So your whole social world opens up. And it does sound counterintuitive because initially, I think you can feel like your world's a little bit smaller, especially if you are one of the only members of your family or in your friend group who made the decision to quit alcohol. But it really, really does expand our world and our engagements. You know, it's like we do all have the same 24 hours in a day, but now we're able to manage our time around our own values and not somebody else's. We don't just say yes to things, to events because alcohol's involved. We say yes because we're genuinely interested in the event or the person. And now you get to choose more activities that are in line with your interests and your passions and your growth. You get to meet new people, open yourself up to new social circles. And whatever you do choose to do, right, if it winds up being something unexpected or that you actually don't like, you're able to get up and go. You don't have to keep yourself in situations that aren't fun for you. You don't have to overextend yourself. You don't have to push past your limits. You know exactly what you're vibing with and what you're not. And that's super important. Sobriety also expands your evenings. So you don't stay up late just to drink. You don't eat food just to minimize the level of your intoxication. You choose to rest when you need rest. You choose your bedtime. Maybe one night it's 9 o'clock. Maybe another night it's 11. Who knows? Maybe it could still be 2 a.m. But now you're able to honor what your body is asking you for and not push past it just to drink. And I remember I would try to do that. I would even have friends over and, you know, again, those first couple shots, oh, I feel great. And I would just feel so enlivened momentarily and we would hang out. But the reality is I was tired. I'm a single mother and I don't say that just to say it, but I'm tired. So it's like everything my son does, wherever he goes, like I'm at all the games. I bring him to all the practices, right? Everything in my house. I cook the dinners. I bring my son to the appointments. I walk my dog. I do everything. So I don't have someone else to rely on to, you know, to help me out with those responsibilities. So yes, there are times I'm tired, but I just kept pushing past that and like, oh no, I can hang out tonight, sure, even if I knew I was tired. And then there were some nights where, again, I didn't necessarily feel like I was because I don't think I knew how to truly identify with that sensation within my own body. So I would invite people over and then, you know, within a couple hours, I would just be sleeping. I would go in my room and I would literally pass out. And they would still be there. And like, they're so sweet, you know, they would clean up and stuff like that and leave. And I love them for that. But it's like, I was tired, but I did not know how to identify what that truly felt like because I was so used to pushing past it. And now my evenings are self-care, you know, like once my day is done and things are winding back down, it's like I'll take another shower. I follow a very specific face care regimen and use a facial massager, watch a show. And those sound like really small things. And they are, but those small things are actually the big things. because there were some nights, and not all the time, but there were some times when I would just fall asleep with like mascara still on. And I'm not a makeup person, but mascara was something I do wear. If I wear, makeup, it's just mascara, but I might fall asleep with it still on, or I might not do my face care routine. And what happens is like your skin, it looks older, or if you're not taking care of it, you look inflamed and all those things. So like that's important to me. And I'm sure it's important to you too. Women, we care about our appearance as we should. And so now I'm able to do the things that I want to do and need to do on a regular, consistent basis. I don't have to take nights off or, forget to do something basically. And that's everything. The new habits you build for yourself, it's like now they're sustainable. Sobriety also expands your mornings. So now you wake up with clarity and energy, and you don't have mental fog or a hangover, right? Your day starts when you actually wake up. You're not wishing you could fall back to sleep or wishing your day would hurry up and end because you feel like shit. You're able to wake up from a good night's sleep. You feel rested. You feel optimal. And maybe you're not a morning person. That's fine. But the point is, you're able to, from the point you wake up, that's when your day starts. You're not behind the clock because of what you did the night before. So you end up feeling refreshed and renewed, and you're ready for your day. You're able to set your intentions for the day. Maybe you journal, or you have a gratitude list, or, a thankful, I'm blessed list, whatever it is. I mean, it's like you're moving forward, you're not moving backward. So freedom is all about personal choice. It's about alignment with our true selves, with our value system. And in an alcohol-free lifestyle, freedom is not negotiating with yourself. Should I or shouldn't I? If I do it this way, then this will be the outcome, or that way, this will be the outcome. All of that ends. There's no negotiation. You're able to better judge and assess yes or no right from the beginning and follow through on that decision making. You're not managing regret over something you did do or didn't do. And I'm not even saying, like I've had plenty of fun times drinking alcohol that whatever, like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that every time you drink, you do something you regret. Absolutely not. But poor decision making, lack of good judgment, that's just a natural flow. That's what intoxication does to you. So that's nothing to be like ashamed about. That should be an expectation of when you drink alcohol, depending on how much you drink and for how long, that is a very common consequence of what you're doing and should be expected. But now in an alcohol-free life, you don't have to sit there and manage those regrets. You don't have to replay conversations. Did you offend someone? Did someone say this to me? I think they said that to me. What did they mean by that? Oh my God, did I say something that insulted them? Oh, now are we going to have to talk about this again? Having anxiety about those conversations. You don't have to replay those conversations anymore. You know exactly what you said, who you said it to, when you said it, how you said it. You don't have to wake up behind with anxiety or a hangover. Emotionally and physically, you're already on par. You're starting your day off how you need to. those emotions that you experience, they're balanced now. You don't go from super high highs to very low lows. Your energy is stable throughout your entire day. Freedom is doing what supports you and doing what supports your goals. You know, staying in bed all day, calling out of work maybe, missing a fitness class, not doing something you swore to yourself that you were going to do, not building your business, or, ignoring things that are actively going on in your life, ignoring your finances, or just ignoring any situation in your life because you genuinely don't have the wherewithal to deal with it because you're hungover. None of that's freedom, because that doesn't support you. True freedom should support you. Everyone should strive for that. In an alcohol-free lifestyle, you are able to live energized and purposefully towards something bigger than yourself. That's freedom. Every day you wake up and you get to decide for yourself what your day looks like. Alcohol doesn't decide that for you. That's huge. That's so big, and people don't realize that's often one of the only decisions that they're making day in and day out, day in and day out. Am I going to drink? Am I not going to drink? Am I going to drink? Am I not going to drink? It's like, that is so freaking boring, honestly, and repetitive. It's not free. It's not fun. It's not cool. It's not any of those things. So for me, and hopefully for you, your alcohol-free life is not restriction, it's expansion. And sometimes, especially at first, that expansion, it feels quiet, right? You don't always realize, oh, okay, this is freedom, right? Like going in my refrigerator and eating fruit and salad and grabbing whatever I want to eat because that's what I want to taste right now and that's what's good for me right now, instead of rummaging looking for something that's going to soak up the alcohol I drank last night. Something that little, right? We don't even realize because we are just so used to operating in that manner that we don't realize all of those very small decisions that we should be able to make for ourselves on a daily basis. Alcohol started making for us. Alcohol started to dictate whether or not we could go exercise or work out or go to yoga. Alcohol started to dictate what our day looked like with our children, what we did, where we went, who we saw. And we didn't even realize it. We thought we were the ones in control. Isn't that crazy? Like, isn't that friggin' nuts when you really think to yourself, oh my goodness, you weren't deciding. Alcohol was deciding for you, and there's nothing free about that. Okay? So, yes, it may feel quiet at first, but all of those little decisions that you start to make for yourself, those compound over time. All the decisions that now you learn to make, that you want to make, the better habits that you build, the ability to follow your own heart, to trust yourself more, to say yes to things out of alignment and not out of obligation, and to feel confident living your own life and not someone else's. Living alcohol-free gives that to you. You get all of that back. So, my invitation to you is really think about where has your life expanded? How has your life expanded since quitting? Is it your time? Is it your energy? Is it your peace? Your relationships? Where do you feel more choice now than before? Where do you feel more freedom? An alcohol-free lifestyle gives you the freedom to do what? To say what? To be what? Think about that. Really do this exercise and read it and reflect and just think and pause and like, no, this is why you're doing this. This is why you're on this journey. Because now you're free. This is why you made the decision to quit. So definitely do this exercise. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I am looking forward to the next episode soon. Thank you guys so much. Have a good day.